Aloha everybody, and welcome to something new. I thought I'd try something a little different, and I was looking at some different information, local news and projects dealing with the Department of Land and Natural Resources, DLNR. And I found this press release about the ʻAlalā bird, and apparently what I didn't know is that they're relatively extinct in the wild, and there's been a breeding and release program operating here. And today there was a release of, I believe it said 5 total birds back into the wild. So what I wanted to do is show you their release video, and also give you the press release from the Department of Land and Natural Resources over about this bird. And we're going to talk a little bit about the bird and some of the facts about it. It's actually kind of interesting. So let's go ahead and get into the actual press release itself. On September 25th, 2018, the Hawaii Department of Land and Natural Resources released the following. 5 more birds take flight in the forest. Tomorrow will mark a year since the successful reintroduction of critically endangered Hawaiian crows into the forest of Hawaii. Yesterday, researchers with the ʻAlalā project released 5 more ʻAlalā into the Pu'u Maka'ala Natural Area Reserve. I hope I'm getting these names right. Please pardon me if I don't. These birds will join 11 ʻAlalā already thriving in native forests on the windward slopes of Mauna Loa. 2 females and 3 males were released from a location within the same reserve. In October, another 5 birds will be released to make a total of 10 in this cohort to join the release ʻAlalā across the reserve. Prior to these releases, the last wild ʻAlalā were seen in South Kona more than 15 years ago. Hearing the voices of the ʻAlalā and seeing them forage in their native habitat after being gone for so long is an incredible feeling, said Bryce Masuda, program manager from the San Diego Zoo Global's Hawaii Endangered Bird Conservation Program. It is a testament to the resiliency of the birds and the dedication of so many incredible partners that we have come so far. After the opening of the release aviary doors, it took 53 minutes for the first bird to finally venture outside. All but the last one flew. It strolled out and quickly joined the others already exploring their new home. The 11 birds released in 2017 have had a challenging year. Their survival skills were tested through multiple storms, including Hurricane Lane, the Kilauea and Lower East Rift Zone eruptions, and as always, seasonal weather patterns. As 5 new birds join them in the forest, their daily routines continue, foraging on native fruits, eating insects from the bark of trees, and flying through the ohia dominated forest. The Hawaiian forest, as well as the ʻAlalā, are very resilient, explained Allison Greger, PhD, a postdoctoral research associate from the SDZG's HEBCP. They have survived really well over the past year, and it will be exciting to see this continue. Earlier this year, the 10 birds scheduled for release in 2018 were moved to the same flight aviary that housed the 2017 birds. This allows them to acclimate to the sights and sounds of the Hawaiian forest. Each cohort is then transferred to a smaller release aviary 2 weeks prior to their release. All of the released birds are tracked and fed routinely by the HEBCP field team. These daily efforts will continue for these and future released birds for as long as needed. In partnership with the Hawaii Department of Land and Natural Resources, the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service, and others, the Bird Conservation Program reared the ʻAlalā at its centers on Hawaii Island and on Maui. And in addition to these major funders of the project, cooperative partners included Kamehameha Schools, Three Mountain Alliance, U.S. Geological Survey, and the National Park Service. In 2016, the ʻAlalā Working Group, a partnership coordinating the reintroduction, initiated a new strategy to return the birds to the forest. Biologists set out to incorporate the birds' personalities and group dynamics along with detailed habitat selection and an innovative approach to training the birds how to avoid predators. This strategy is a three-pronged approach. Groups are mixed sex and comprised of birds that affiliate well together. The release sites are quantitatively chosen by experts familiar with the species and habitat. Realistic anti-predator training is used to invoke fear of their natural predator, the low, said Jackie, the ʻAlalā project coordinator. The ʻAlalā are highly social birds that live in groups and form complex hierarchies. All of this is taken into account when planning a reintroduction. The numbers of birds released will depend on how many show encouraging behaviors during wild food training and anti-predator training, as well as pass the health exams performed by wildlife veterinarians, said Gregor. On the day of the bird's release, an oli or chant was offered by members of the ʻAlalā working group, honoring the beginning of another chapter of the species' recovery. Last April, each of these birds was given a Hawaiian name by local school students and the community. Ulu, to grow or inspire, Ku'oko'a, freedom, Maika Iloa, good fortune, and Aumomo, to care for, and Kaleo, the voice. I believe I didn't pronounce any of those correctly. I apologize. Are the names of the birds in the first group released this year. These names hold meaning for the individual birds. Having the students and community working together provides a way for connections to be formed with each other, as well as to the conservation work we are doing, said Rochelle Kingsley, Education and Outreach Associate for the ʻAlalā project. Recovering threatened and endangered species is bigger than any one community or agency, said Michelle Bogardas, USFWS Geographic Team Leader for Maui Nui and Hawaii Island. It takes everyone working together, and this release is a great example of that. Together we can ensure a healthy future for not only the birds, but the forest ecosystem as a whole. DLNR Chair Susan Case commented, although bringing the ʻAlalā back to the wild will take decades of work and perseverance, the people of Hawaii and many agencies are dedicated to saving this unique species for the perpetuation of Hawaiian ecosystems. And that is pretty much the press release from the DLNR about this particular project. Now let's go into and talk about the bird a little bit. Basically, general description of the bird is the ʻAlalā is a native bird. The ʻAlalā is a native bird that has black feathers and a large bill. It weighs as much as a football and is over 1.5 feet long from bill to tail. They're very intelligent and by far the loudest bird in the forest. It can make incredible human-like cries, screams, and moans. And as you can hear in the background, I do have us an audio track of these sounds from the ʻAlalā bird. So enjoy that while I continue giving you some more details about the bird itself. In the past, ʻAlalā lived in dry and semi-dry forest in South Kohala, Kona, Ka'u, and into Puna at about 1,000 to 8,200 feet in elevation. These koa and ohia forests on the slopes of Mauna Loa had a lot of fruiting plants in the understory, and the large amount of understory shrubs provided a lot of food and cover to hide from predators. Now what they basically eat, the diet of the ʻAlalā includes over 30 species of native fruits, eggs and nestlings of other birds, insects, some nectar, flowers, and dead animals. And one of the most important jobs that the ʻAlalā does for the ecosystem is they are basically a seed disperser for large fruited native plants, which is pretty cool. So without them, some of these plants won't be able to reproduce. So it's interesting how one animal can be responsible for the perpetuation of another species of plant or perhaps even animal. So okay, everybody, that will pretty much do it on this little science project or book report, actually I guess would be an appropriate term, book report on the ʻAlalā bird, the Hawaiian crow. I hope you enjoyed this. I just wanted to try something a little new and different, and I found this story, and I do love birds, and crows are, very intelligent. So I'm kind of interested in watching this one, and it is possible that at some point in the future I might even see a small cohort or something take residence in my area, because I am pretty much at the right elevation, well, the lower limit of that elevation. So anyways, if you like this video, hit that thumbs up button. I really appreciate it, and I really do hope you like this video. If you haven't subscribed yet, hit the subscribe button, and if you hit that bell icon, you'll get notifications that when I post videos. However, you might want to check the options on your bell icon, because I think by default it will give you occasional notifications, and if you want to receive all notifications for any videos or live streams that I post, you'll probably need to change that option to all. So I can't wait to hear what y'all got to say in the comments. I'm looking forward to that. Also, make sure you check the video description for links to my Redbubble, SmugMug, Twitter account, etc., and a link to the ʻAlalā project in Hawaii. Until next time, y'all have a great morning, afternoon, or evening.